Isn't this a nice picture? The S4 family, if you want to. This is of course the famous Galaxy S4, and these are the new ones, the Galaxy Mega 6.3 and the S4 Mini. We are coming to the big one later in a separate video. I just wanted to show you the proportions of 36, 5 and yeah, let's see how many inches we are going here. Okay, these are the new ones we want to compare in this video, the S4 and the S4 Mini. Of course, as you can see, a totally different league in display size and of course in device size, because this one is 61 by 125 millimeters and the S4 has 70 by 137 millimeters, and thickness is a little bit up from 7.9 to 9.0 millimeters, but especially the weight. That's what I wanted to tell you, because this one has 130 grams and the Mini has 108 grams. So it's feeling totally different in your palm. This one is of course big and thin, and this is more compact. And especially if you look, let's say, go to the app launcher, your thumb has less problems, let me call it like this, to come from one corner to another one, because on the big screens, at least me and my thumb, I have always that problem that you had to grip over and then come to the other corner, and this is a little bit more easy on the smaller displays and devices, of course. So even in our times, I guess there's a reason to have those smaller devices too, of course. So let's introduce the S4 Mini a little bit more. Display is 43 by 94 millimeters, so we are talking about a diagonal of 108 millimeters or 4.26 inches. To remember you, the S4 has 62 by 110 millimeters, coming to a diagonal of 127 millimeters or 5 inches. So as you can see a little bit, let me go a little bit closer so that you can see all those edges here and especially down there. Everything is a little bit smaller on the S4, so we are coming to a ratio of 72% of the front of the S4 are display, and on the Mini it's only 66%, but it's a good ratio too, don't get me wrong. But coming to pixels. On the S4 we have of course that great Full HD 442 ppi display, and here we're talking, I'm sorry to say, 540 by 960 pixels, so the pixel density is only 258 ppi. So it's a totally different league, as I told you. In this case, it's not the good news, and compared to all the other devices of the last 12 months I've reviewed, we're talking about the S4 6% above the average and the S4 Mini 29% below the average concerning the pixel density. Here we go. But nevertheless, you can read, of course, as you can see like this, or let me go to this internet site here with very small texts, tiny texts that you can see. Let's start over here with 70%. All right, this is a little bit bigger on the S4, of course. And by the way, you can see that the brightness of the S4 Mini is a little bit less. Both devices are without any sensors and on maximum brightness. So there's a slight difference, but that's okay. And again, as you can see here, even those tiny texts, and let me see if I come a little bit closer. Yeah, it's working sharp still. And to see tiny text are still good to read. This is no problem at all. And the other thing I wanted to show you is, because on the paper, the technical specifications seem to be the same, because both devices have a Super AMOLED display. And again, here is my magnifier. I know you love it, but nevertheless, I want to show you again first the S4. This one is that, not the typical pentile matrix you know from AMOLED displays. This one is called diamond matrix, because as you can see, the green, red and blue subpixels have a little bit different architecture. So they are a little bit closer to each other, not only because of the high pixel density, but even because of they are very close to each other on the subpixel structure. That's not the typical pen-trial matrix. And now here we go to the S4 Mini. Yeah, let me see that I'm getting it without that reflections. Here we go. I hope you can see. This is a surprise because it's not a pen-trial matrix. It's not a diamond matrix. This one is called a stripe RGB matrix. RGB, of course, for red, green, and blue subpixels. And as you can see, again, we have, like on the LCDs, 3 subpixels per pixels. Not in a row, side by side, red, green, and blue, but the blue one on the left, in this image here, of course, blue one on the left and one red and one green on the right. But nevertheless, very pretty close to each other, pretty regular architecture over the panel, and especially, let me show if I can grab a. You can't see. No, it's getting dark over here. I wanted to catch a text so that you can see. No, it's not possible at the moment. I'm sorry for that. Don't find this one. I wanted to show you that it's not that typical tearing effect you have on pen-trial matrix on the edges of texts, but I can't show. I'm sorry for that. I tried my best. I like my English. Okay, here we go. Back to the S4 Mini. We have, of course, again, LTE, dual cell HSDPI, NFC, Bluetooth 4.0, just the same features like on the S4, and this one is running on Android 4.2.2 with the update, and we have 4.2.2 coming out of the box from the Mini. So it's the same user interface and the same feature sets, and as you can see, the same kind of usage, but of course there are some differences. First is concerning the processor. Here in the S4 we have that Snapdragon 600, 4 cores by 1.9 gigahertz, added by 2 GB RAM. So this one was the best in the benchmarks, really speedy, great one, state of the art. And the question was, what kind of processor is in the S4 Mini? We only knew it has a dual core, 1.7 gigahertz and 1.5 GB RAM. But here we go, it's a Snapdragon 400. So same generation as a 600, and this one was really great. So totally new generation, and really worth being called a new generation. And so I hope that the Snapdragon 400 is as good as this one. I didn't have the time to make all benchmarks, and a single benchmark doesn't say anything in my opinion, so I have to leave that to the final review, but I will do that, of course, and check this one. But nevertheless, I hope that it will be great, because all that Snapdragons I have had, especially the S4 and the HTC One, were really speedy. So let's hope that the Snapdragon 400 will be the same league too. All right. Oh, by the way, on the back camera, instead of the 13 megapixels of the S4, we have 8 megapixels only. But to tell the truth, a good 8 megapixels camera is doing great photos too. Videos in full HD, of course. Internal memory. Of course, we know that 16, 32 and 64 gigabyte steps on the S4. We don't have this at the moment officially announced on the Mini. This is only 8 gigabyte internal memory, and from that, out of the box are left free round about 5 gigabyte, and this is enough, I guess, especially because we have, this slot down here. Here you can insert a micro SD card up to 64 gigabyte. This is a micro SIM slot, of course. Unfortunately, you have to remove the battery to come to this one, and to compare this again to the S4. Here we go. looking like this one. Here you're going outside of the battery to the micro SD slot, so you don't have to remove this one. That's, yeah, a little bit a problem of this if you have to switch your memory cards all the time. If you're doing this once in a lifetime, so it's no problem at all. By the way, battery 1900 milliampere hours. Here at the S4 we have had 2600 milliampere hours, so this is a big difference too. But if you compare the size of the battery to the size of the display, and the display is the most is consuming the most power, nevertheless. Here we go. It's in both cases is exactly the same ratio of 38 milliampere hours per square millimeter. So it's exactly the same ratio, and so I would say that you will come at least, the battery is staying at least the same time like on the S4. It should be a little bit longer because we're talking about a dual-core processor instead of a quad-core processor, but we will see. Prices, yeah, well, that's the topic. The prices from Samsung are still 729 euros here in Europe, at least, or in Germany, for the S4 officially, and for the S4 Mini 529 euros. So this is 200 euros different. That seemed to be okay, but on the street prices or on the web prices, this is not that great, because the S4 is down to around about 500 euros without any contract at the moment, and the S4 Mini is starting with 420 euros without any contract. So 80 euros difference only for that bigger screen and quad-core processor and 13 megapixels camera and 16 gigabyte internal memory instead of 8. Well, I would knew what kind of device I would choose, nevertheless. But so I guess the price of the Mini will go down rapidly, or at least I hope so, and then the relation and the ratio between the S4 and S4 Mini will be all right. But I would say let's wait a little bit to see that coming, to see that happen, and yeah, that's enough, I hope so, for the first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye.